What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Mighty Morphin Red Ranger Trini, and Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger Jason. And so here we have Red Ranger Trini and Yellow Ranger Jason posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figures, let's run through their accessories. Starting with their exclusive accessories first, and starting with Trini, she does come with two different head sculpts. We do get the helmeted head, which looks really nice. I do like the new helmet. And then we do get her unhelmeted head, which looks really nice. She also does come with two pairs of hands. We do get a pair of grip hands. We get a style pose right hand and a fist left hand. And then she does come with the power sword, which looks really nice, and then that comes with its own accessory. Jason does come with two heads as well. He does get the helmeted head, which looks really good. And then we have an unhelmeted head. He also does come with two pairs of hands. We get a pair of grip hands, and then we get a pair of fists. Then he does come with the power daggers, which look really nice in his hands, as well as effect pieces for the power daggers. Between the two of them, they do share three versions of the blade blasters. We do get the folded up version, we get an extended blade version, and then we get a new mold for the blaster version, so those look really nice. Other than that, they don't come with any other accessories. So with that out of the way, let's have a look at Jason and Trini. And so here we do have a look at Yellow Ranger Jason, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I absolutely hate the way this figure came out. It's not the design of the figure I hate, it's the quality. The quality control on this particular figure is atrocious. Not at all saying the paint job is just as bad, but we'll get into that right now. The head sculpt is absolutely garbage. I don't know why it looks this bad. If we have this version of Jason that looks a lot like the actor, what is this? Who is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be a comic book version of Jason? If so, it still looks terrible. Just cartoonize this head sculpt and put it on this. Use a photoreal. This looks like garbage. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It does have a nice sculpt to it, but it's one of those instances where the paint apps ruin the face, and that's what we have here. The hair is a nice sculpt, like I said, and it's brown for some reason. Jason had black hair though, so yeah, there is that. And in the face, I just can't stand this face. It is atrocious. So moving on to the rest of the figure, one thing I absolutely don't like about this is the new neck setup. Now the original one, the torso and the neck were one solid piece. This one has a separate neck from the torso. Now unfortunately on mine, the head comes off really easy, and the reason for that is you can see exactly how misshapen mine is. It looks like half of it got cut off in the molding process. And then why did they paint it? Why paint white plastic? It's there's so many things that they did wrong. The mold is absolutely atrocious. It doesn't fit on the ball peg too well. It's very loose because of that. And then they painted it. I don't know why they painted white plastic. It's really boggles the mind. Then we move on to the new torso, which it's the same setup that we got with the original one, but I don't know if you guys can see in there, but his arm should not be going back this far. For some reason, that peg is not catching on the inside as it should, which means, yes, it gets more range, but that means this butterfly joint is very loose as well. This one works perfectly fine because it stays inside that rail system, but this one, yeah, it's loose beyond recognition. And besides a bobblehead, he also kind of has like a loose torso. So yeah, it's just quality control that makes me not like this figure. I do like the pinless system that they're going with, although like I said, I can live or die without it. It really doesn't bother me. I do like the paintwork on the forms here. I believe they painted this white because it's a nice glossy white versus a more matte finish here on his sleeve. Then we do have his gloves, which unfortunately they're not matte either. You can see, or they're matte while his gloves are glossy, and then this is another issue I have with it. We'll get into that right now. But moving on to the belt first, not a fan of how they did the belt. The belt on the original Power Rangers had the tokens or the power coins actually sculpted on this. It's just painted on. There's no sculpt work here other than the morpher. So yeah, really lacking there by Hasbro. At least the Blade Blaster got a new mold, right? Then we go on to probably one of my least favorite things about this new mold, the drop down hips. Yeah, you can see very, very loose on mine. He doesn't even hold the shape. Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, that is absolutely garbage. Hasbro is pulling a Mattel and taking like 2 steps forward and 5 steps back at this point. There's no reason why the figure should be like this. Don't you make G.I. Joe? Don't you make Marvel Legends? Come on, Hasbro, this is, you're better than this. Then we have some looseness here in the knee. You can see that the right, or the left knee, it kind of is loose. Once you get to a certain point, it locks up, but yeah, in neutral, it's very loose. On this leg, yeah, same thing. We have loose joints there. Then we have the same boot that we got with the regular Ranger. So overall, yeah, not a fan of how this Ranger came out. I like the concept. I just don't like the quality control in it. I don't understand why it's this bad. Hasbro really messed up on this figure, and it's not just mine. I've seen reviews on this particular mold. It sucks. It absolutely 100% sucks. So with Jason out of the way, let's actually move on to Red Ranger Trini. And so here we have a closer look at Trini, and where I absolutely hated Jason, I love this version of Trini. I don't know what it is about the haircut, but it makes this character look very cute and adorable. I absolutely love the head sculpt. If anything, it's a much better head than the original one we got. This one was pretty good, but it felt a little pale. This one has very nice liveliness to it. It uses the photoreal, and yeah, you can see the difference of the initial release with the newer release. So this is going to be my go-to Trini head, despite the fact she never had hair like this in the series. I really do like this head sculpt. The hair is very nice. It's very cute. I love the overall look of it, and she has those round chubby cheeks. How can you not love that? Moving on to the new mold for the Red Ranger. This is the body that all female Rangers are going to start using. She does have a separate neck joint from the torso, so that white is actually molded in white, and it doesn't pop off. You can see that's the way it's supposed to be. I can't even do that with the Red Ranger, or with the Yellow Ranger, excuse me. Her joint works perfectly fine. I really do like it, and her butterfly joints are actually proper butterfly joints. There's no problem I have with them. I do like the torso. They did a really good job of trying to match the Reds. For the most part, I will get into that in a little bit, but yeah, we do have this really nice double jointed elbow, where the original figures you see are single jointed. She has a bicep swivel instead of an elbow swivel, and they even gave her forearm swivel. Now it's stuck on mine, but yeah, the gloves are separate pieces from the forearm. It's only on the female figures. I don't know why they didn't do it with the male figures. That's really boggles the mind. But yeah, do like the fact that because it is molded in white, her gloves actually do match, so really good job there. Really do like this new suit. The sculpt lines on the suit are a little more noticeable rather than on the original ones. And again, where we had the sculpted power coins on the original, we just have it painted. I don't know why that's a step back. The morpher looks fine. The power coin just should be sculpted always, at least in my opinion. Again, we do have the holstered Blade Blaster in its closed form, and I am happy we got it in different forms. Really do like the joints on this. You can see it's not too loose. I can shake the figure around, and we don't have that wobble that we saw with the Yellow Ranger, so I do like that. The hip joints actually function on this figure, so good job on Hasbro for making this figure at least work. I don't know if you guys can see it on my review, but on my normal lights and under regular lighting, the knees and elbows are completely different colors. There is a darker red plastic used for the elbows and knees versus everything else. And I do understand what it is. It's that this has to be a harder plastic going into a softer plastic. Unfortunately, that does create some discoloration, so that is unfortunate. She still has the two-tone or the separate piece boots, so that at least matches. And I want to say the boots are new sculpts, but I'm pretty sure it's just my imagination. I do like the fact the white is livelier. It could just be the age of the original Yellow Ranger is starting to show, because this is a 2-year-old figure at this point, where this one was just released. So yeah, really loving the Red Ranger here. She looks beautiful and absolutely perfect in every way. Why couldn't Jason be like this? I have no idea, but yeah, really liking Trini. Jason, on the other hand, not so much. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get them compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Jason and Trini posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Trini and Jason posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Trini and Jason posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have the new Trini and Jason posed next to Yellow Ranger Trini and Red Ranger Jason. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at their articulation. We'll have a look at Jason's articulation first, just because I want to get his out of the way first. As far as their articulation goes, they do have a ball joint at the top of the head, which is just a single ball joint. Unfortunately, does not provide too much up and down movement. It does rotate left and right, and no head tilt. Now, as far as the neck goes, it is on a single ball joint, and that does provide some up and down movement, but not a lot. Some side to side tilts, but again, it's not a lot, and on mine, it is very loose, unfortunately. We do have butterfly joints in the shoulders, which do go back and forward. Arms do go all the way around. They go out to the side really nicely. He does have a bicep swivel, which works no problem. Double bend here at the elbow, going only to about a little past 90. We do have a swivel at the wrist, as well as horizontal hinges, so I do like that. Or vertical hinges, excuse me. We don't have the in and out hinges on the original Rangers. We actually have proper hinges right there. He does have a ball joint at the torso, but as you can see, for some reason, it doesn't work as good as the original one. It might just be mine. It could be an issue going all around, but yeah, it does still pivot side to side. It rotates very stiff. I'm actually scared I might break that joint. Might just be very tight, but anyway, yeah, it does rotate, but it wants to fight me right now, so that is a little bit unfortunate. He still has that reverse ab crunch, which does provide some really good forward and back mobility. He does have those the hinge ball joints, so they do drop down, as you can see. Going out to the side, it's the same as the original Rangers. It's terrible, to be quite honest. It should be better. Legs do kick forward to about right there. Even with the drop down hinge, they don't get much more movement, so yeah, I don't understand why they even have it. That's terrible. We do have a thigh swivel up high. We have a double bend here at the knee, swivel at the boot, and then a hinge in the ankle going back and forward, as well as forward facing pin for rocker ankle. Moving him off to the side and bringing out Trini. She does have a single ball joint in the head, where you can see it does move up and down fairly nicely. We get some slight head tilt, if any. It's very minuscule. Then she does turn left and right, no problem. We do have a ball joint at the base of the neck, but that doesn't work at all. Hasbro taking 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, unfortunately. She does have butterfly joints, which work really nicely. I think these work better than the original butterfly joints, so I do like that. Arms do go out to about right there. They actually have less range going out. The original one could go even further than that. All the way around, no problem. We have a bicep swivel instead of a swivel elbow, so I do like that. Double bend here in the elbow, giving us really good range. I do like that. Swivel here at the glove. We have a vertical hinge here at the grip hand, as well as rotation at the forearm. We have another ball joint here, which again, I don't know why this isn't working. It might just be my figure, but I don't know why these joints aren't working as they should. We do have a ball joint here in the torso, but that doesn't really move. We have a reverse ab crunch, which that does work, and then rotation. Her drop down ball joints do go down and then kick forward to about right there, so that's pretty standard. Kick back, not that great, but this is where I do like the improvement. We get full on splits, and that is very good. I like that. Why couldn't the male Rangers get that? I have no idea. Hasbro, it's gonna Hasbro. She does have a swivel up high in the thigh, double bend at the knee going only to about right there, swivel at the boot. We do have a hinge in the ankle going back and forward, and then forward facing pen for rocker ankle. So overall, Trini here has some really nice articulation, and it's very good. Jason, I'm gonna probably have to get a different Lightning Collection male figure because the quality control on mine is terrible. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get these guys posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Gamestop exclusive Lightning Collection, Red Ranger Trini and Yellow Ranger Jason posed for my final thoughts, and overall, it's a mixed bag, you guys. There is absolutely no way to sugarcoat this. This is a very half and half set for me. There's a lot of things that Hasbro did right, but a lot of things that they did wrong as well. Well, let's talk about the pros. I really do like the new mold that they're going with. If it didn't have the quality control that it has, I'm pretty sure these new bodies would articulate much better than the old ones. The female mold is already miles above that original mold, so I do like that. The male mold, unfortunately, I got a very, very defective one, and that is going to cause me to think a little bit ill of this. Now, that's where the pros pretty much stop. As far as the cons go, most of it is with Jason. Let's talk about that face. The head sculpt is atrocious. I absolutely hate this. What were they thinking? If they were trying to make a comic book character, they made a robot chicken character, and that is terrible. The quality control in just the joints alone is terrible. That neck joint, why is it painted? It's already cast in white. That seems like you're just putting a hat on a hat for some reason. One thing I do hate about this set is that the helmeted heads do not fit the figures. It is a very, and I mean a very, very stiff joint that trying to switch the heads out is almost impossible. So again, Hasbro took 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. Trini's weapons are very well done. I do like them, but Jason's weapons are very soft. They are very rubbery, and they barely fit in his hands properly because you have to really fight it because of how gummy it is. I don't know. It's really a mixed bag between these two figures. I absolutely love Trini. The new head sculpt for the Red Ranger looks amazing, and I'm going to try putting that on the old heads or old figures, see if that works. This new Yellow Ranger, it's very, very bad, and I do understand that it's from a comic book, but I think Hasbro should have taken these back for quality control, because mine and several others are horrendously loose and have deformations in them, so that is not a good thing. Overall, do I recommend this set? It's really hard for me to recommend half a set. If you guys can track down Trini by herself with all her accessories, I think she's worth it. But Jason, on the other hand, maybe he's worth it if you're a fan of Super Sentai and need a male Yellow Ranger to go with your other Rangers. But yeah, I just can't recommend this set just because of how bad Jason was done, and it pains me because this is a $55 set. Hasbro should not be having this many issues with their figures for the amount of money they're charging. The new parts, I do understand, do cost money, but the quality in it, it's very terrible. I really can't recommend this unless you're a die-hard Power Rangers fan. And this isn't even from the show, this is from a Boom comic, so unless you've read the comic, this is pretty much a pass. I'm sorry guys, but I can't recommend this unless you're a die-hard Power Rangers fan like I am, or you're a fan of the comic, but even then you might be disappointed. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Lightning Collection videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.